So to add lighting, you go to the add up top. You want to go down to the light bulb that says light and then go over. So you have 4 options for lighting here. All of them work. All of them are great. It depends on what you want the lighting for. If you use the light point, that is a small circular light that is usually, I would use it for like lamps or something that kind of needs like a light bulb kind of shape or something like that, because you can usually see it when you render in cycles, especially if you're using something that has like glass or a mirror effect. You can see the circular light, so that's not fun. Sun obviously is the sun. It goes on the outside. It's very bright. It's a huge ray of light. You don't want to put that directly on a sim because you can do too much light exposure and your photo will come out not good at all. Spot is literally a spotlight. It's small on one end and then it spreads out and gets a little bit dimmer as it spreads out. And then the area light, which is the one that I usually use, is the best for, especially if you're doing cubes, but basically putting them in front of your camera so that it's like your camera has a light so you can see. So we're going to add an area light. The area light, which I'm going to move up so you can see, it's a flat square. This ray right here is where the light is shining. So we're just going to back that up just a little bit. Okay, and then we're just going to angle that up to his face. Maybe move it over a little. All right, make sure you have your camera. You want to change your resolution. I think normal people use like 1080 or some shit. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, do it. Don't conform to the norm. So now that we've done that, we can go over to this little TV, which is render properties. And instead of Eevee, we're going to put it in cycles. Under cycles, you're going to have all these settings. The ones that you mainly want to focus on is viewpoint and render. When you have it in viewpoint, if you do not have denoise selected, I was going to bring that down to a 32. If you do not have denoise selected, this is what it's going to look like. See how grainy it is? And it'll take the picture like this too if you don't select denoise. So make sure that you have the denoise button selected so it comes out as a clear picture. So if you want to change the lighting and not the background, you can select your light. You can either select the actual light in the actual scene, or you can select it over here on the right and then go down to this little green light bulb here, and it'll let you select the power, how strong you want it. So if I turn this up to 200, it's going to get really bright in here. If I turn it to 50, and you can also select the color, whatever color you want it to be. So once we got that all settled, I would not suggest rendering anything any lower than 16. And 16 is very low. You can have detail with 16, but it's not going to be like the crispest picture. So once you have that all set, you want to make sure that under render, you do max samples. What I was changing there is how many pixels it's going to take for it to make the picture, which is going to say how long the picture is going to take. So if I turn that all the way up to like 4,000 like they had it, it would take like 2 hours for it to render, to be honest, if it's that high. I don't go any higher. I think the highest that I've done is like 256. And that was like 2 pictures, because it'll take a good little while if you put the rendering samples too high. So just put it at like 16, 32, 64, 128, 256. Those are all some good numbers that is manageable, but the pictures will come out really nice. So once we got all that set, you got your light, you got your background, you got your sim, they're in their pose, you got your camera, you got all the settings done. You're gonna save. Always, always, always save before you render your picture, because sometimes it'll glitch and it'll close. The heartbreak that I've had to suffer from not saving. So make sure you save. All right, and then you're gonna hit render and render image. So since we're in cycles, it'll come up like this. You're gonna be able to move it, zoom in, zoom out. The picture will pop up. Since it's only at 16, it says that it's gonna take a minute. So we just have to wait for that minute to be done. It'll show you how much it's already done right here and how much it has left to go. And you can watch it just create your picture, or you can go off and do other things. Oh, I have another tip for you guys. This is probably a really good tip. So if you don't want to get confused by like leaving your sim name as Rig, you can actually change their name, not over here, but like go to the action part, the non-linear animation part, and hold down Control and then click the rig, and it'll let you change the name. And it'll change the name over here too, so you can find your sim easier. Another little tip, do not select your sim like this and try to move them, because they will leave their hair behind, they will clip, they will scare you. This is the stuff of nightmares. Don't do it. Always select the rig. There we go. Now you can move them around. And try to remember, if you're gonna delete them, don't just delete this part, select all of it and delete it. Last thing I'm gonna show you guys is how to add your sim into a scene that's already done. In order to add your sim to a scene that is already done, you open up the scene, make sure that you can see or that you're inside the building or whatever. There's probably already going to be a camera there. What you want to do is go to File and not import, because we're not going to shade a sim. We're going to bring them in. So we're going to do Append, because that's how you get poses and objects into the scenes. And at this point, your sims are objects. So you want to go to Pose Blend, where you saved your sim, and select them, and then you want to go down to Object, because like I said, your sims that have been saved are now objects. It's going to come up with your rig and the sim and their glass. If you change their name, the name of the rig will be whatever you changed it to. You want to select all of it, so that's click, shift, click, and append. Why are they so small? Y'all playing with me today. What is this? Anyway, once they come in the scene, you're gonna have to work them, move them, pose them. However, you can make them bigger with the scale button. Make sure their feet aren't in the floor. Like I said, it's your world. You have fun with it. Take it and run. Do whatever you want to do. And then it's literally the same thing as if you're in the cube. You take your camera, which this one already has a camera. I don't like using the cameras that the scene builders put in, because sometimes they're really like grainy, like the picture is really weird, or this one like does the thing where if you try to move the scene, it moves the camera. So in order to get that off, you have to go to View, and then make sure you unlock the camera to viewpoint. So yeah, now it's better. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. You guys know how to take your pictures and all that. That's just how you add them into somebody else's scene. All right, guys, I want you guys practicing. I want to see those practice pictures. That was our Blender class. I hope I didn't keep you guys too long, and I hope that that helps some of you guys get this stuff.